My name is Sandra Shaw. I am the district leader in the 74th Assembly District, and I am the temporary chairperson for the 74th Assembly District Committee of the New York County Democratic Committee, and I'm calling this meeting to order. The notice of this meeting was mailed in accordance with the rules of the Democratic Party in New York County to all persons who have been duly certified as having been elected members of the county committee by the Board of Elections and the City of New York. The following have been appointed to assist in the meeting: Chair of the Credentials Committee, Kim Cole. We actually had several people doing colors to assist. It was Barrett in person and folks to come. And I think we have some tenant representatives that will be participating as well later in the calendar votes. So the chair now recognizes the chair of the Credentials Committee for their report.
Hello. The Credentials Committee reports that a quorum of 30% of the members of the 74th Assembly District Committee have signed the roll and are present.
Thank you very much. Thank you again very much. So, all right, so I want to see if I could recognize Alyssa Gates, since we now seem to have the required quorum as per the rules of the Democratic Party in New York County. Alyssa?
I move to be report of the Credentials Committee.
Second. Thank you. The chair recognizes Bernard Cato.
Aye.
No. You second?
I second that.
All right, so we have a motion that's been made and seconded to approve the report of the Credentials Committee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Okay, the ayes prevail and the report of the Credentials Committee is adopted. The next order of business is the election of the permanent officers of the district committee. Are there any nominations for the position of chairperson of the district committee? Actually, do we have?
Corbett.
Mike Corbett, go ahead.
I nominate Kyle Ishmael.
Oh, okay, we're surprised. Is there someone seconding that? Alicia Zanelli? Yeah, okay, she's seconding. Thank you very much. Are there any other nominations? Okay, we're moving along fast. Hearing none, I declare nominations closed. Those in favor of electing Kyle Ishmael, chairperson of the 74th Assembly District Committee of the New York County Democratic Committee, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. All right, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. You've been elected as chairperson of the 74th Assembly District Committee. I ask that you now assume the role of chair of the body.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for staying. All right, just so folks know, we are live streaming this and it's on the Head and Dems YouTube account, so folks will be able to check it afterwards. That is with this lovely little owl over here doing, although for some reason it keeps pointing the camera only at me. Okay, I feel like it's a little better. Okay. That's why I like to move over there. All right, I will continue on with the discussion. We will keep this program moving. The next order of business is the election of the secretary of the committee. The chair recognizes, Matt Corbett.
I nominate Barry Weinberg.
Sir, is there a second for Barry Weinberg?
Second, Barry.
Thank you, Sandra. Sandra. And are there any other nominations for secretary of this meeting? Seeing none, I declare nominations closed. Those in favor of electing Barry Weinberg, secretary of the 74th Assembly District Committee meeting, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. Hearing none. Any abstentions? All right, ayes have it, and Barry Weinberg is elected secretary of the 74th Assembly District Committee meeting. Thank you. The next order of business is the adoption of the rules of procedure for this committee. I am going to read those rules. We do have many in the back of the room. Hopefully folks have gotten a copy. Yes, looks like most folks have. We do have more up here if you need it. I will quickly read through these rules. Does anybody need? Feel free. I guess help me out. Thank you. All right, while we do that. All right, so we have English on one side, Spanish on the other. So section 1 of the rules, voting. When voting to make a nomination, each voter shall have the weighted vote assigned in accordance with the rules of the Democratic Party for New York County. questions, each member shall have one vote. There shall be no voting by proxy. Item number 2, agenda. Following approval of the report of the Credentials Committee, the election of the permanent chairperson and secretary of the committee, adoption of the rules and designation of committees and no vacancies. The sole item on the agenda shall be the nomination of the Democratic candidate for state assembly for the 74th Assembly District. No other business shall be in order. Item number 3, nominations and voting. Candidates must be nominated and seconded from the floor by 2 different members of the 74th Assembly District
Would you
Committee.
speak up into the mic?
Is this better? Yeah. Okay. I'm on section 3, nominations and voting. Candidates must be nominated and seconded from the floor by 2 different members of the 74th Assembly District Committee. Each nominator and seconder will have 1 minute each to give remarks. Each nominated candidate shall be allotted 3 minutes to address the committee and accept or decline the nominations. Voting will be conducted in rounds, and the candidates who receive a majority of the weighted votes shall votes cast shall be declared the Democratic nominee. Candidates receiving less than 25% of the vote in the first round will now advance to the next round. If all candidates receive higher than 25%, the candidate receiving the lowest share will now advance to the next round. This will continue until the majority vote is won. Item number 4 is ballot. The chairperson will announce the place on the ballot. Each member must sign his or her name at the time of voting in order to assure that the member was present at the time of voting. I'm going to read that sentence again and kind of explain. I like to always get the why, right? So we don't allow proxies here, right? Everyone who is voting has to be here present in the room. Since we're going through multiple rounds of voting, this is our way to ensure that you don't just fill out your ballot and leave it, right? You want to make sure that you vote based on who the candidates are in the first round. And if we have to come back to a second round, that you vote who the candidates are based on, that second round. So this is our way of ensuring that folks are here, being present, and paying attention to who the candidates are, who you are. All right, so I will read that sentence again. We're on section 4. The chairperson will announce the place on the ballot. Each member must sign his or her name at the time of voting in order to assure that the member was present at the time of voting. The teller shall supervise the counting of the ballots. If the tellers can make a reasonable determination of the candidate for whom the ballot was voted, the ballot shall be counted for that candidate regardless of spelling or other errors. If the tellers are unsure of the markings on the ballot, or if the ballot is unsigned or signed in the wrong place, the chief teller or an officer of the committee will request that the member come forward to explain or correct the ballot. If the member is present and offers a reasonable explanation of the markings on the ballot or corrects the signature of the ballot shall be counted. If the member is absent when called or is unable to offer a reasonable explanation, the ballot shall be marked void and shall be deemed not to be passed. Section 5, tellers. The only persons authorized in the area where the ballots are counted are the officers of the committee and their designees, and 1 person designated by each candidate to observe the counting. Designated observers may not leave the counting area until the count is completed. These rules are intended to supplement and explain the rules and regulations of the Democratic Party of the County of New York. If there is any conflict, the county rules govern. Those are the rules for this meeting. The chair now recognizes Michael Corbin.
I move to approve the rules.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sandra. Is there any discussion on the rules that were provided? Comments are to be limited to 30 seconds. Yes, I see a question.
I just think you should clarify, I know I didn't know this was going to be done by the bank choice. That's like H's marked 1, 2, and 3. So the first round of voting is who you want most, second.
No, so I'm gonna, let me turn to Barry, our secretary, to clarify the ballot question.
So in the event, you will only cast 1 ballot per round. In the event that someone wins a majority of the weighted vote on the first round, we will not use ballots 2 and 3. You can throw them out, recycle them, shred them, whatever. If, however, there is not a majority in the first round, then and only then will we proceed to use the ballot with the watermark 2. And then if there's not a winner in the second round, we will then go to the third ballot. So you will not mark all 3 ballots at once. You will vote
once at a time when the chair instructs you to vote.
The majority is 50 plus 1.
Of the weight vote.
Correct. All right, any other questions on the rules? Yes.
Just clarify the weighted part, like how is it determined? Because I got my answer, but I'm wondering if a lot of other people might have that question too.
Yeah, so,
The weights are done in accordance with the rules of the state Democratic Party and County Democratic Party. Because this is a special election, there is not time for a primary. This meeting of the 74th Assembly District Committee takes the place of a primary. You, as county committee members, are elected representatives of the registered Democrats in the EDs you represent. So, if your ED is very populous and has many Democrats, you will have a higher weight. If your ED is less populous and has fewer Democrats, you will have a lower weight. This is additionally also, there is weighting that is done by turnout as well, measured by the number of votes for the Democratic line for governor in the last election, or if no such history exists for the ED, the number of Democratic lines for the role of assembly in the last election, or if no such history exists for the ED, it is a simulated turnout based on the countywide average turnout multiplied by the number of registered Democrats in the election district.
a lot of math. Figuring out these things. Any other questions on the rules? Yes, right here.
Why are there two signature places?
So again, the multiple signature places are so that when I tell you exactly where to sign, we can ensure that you signed and you are present, and you were present for that vote, right? So as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna give instructions on where I want you to sign, so that way you know you signed it for the meeting, you decided for that round, you were present, you were. Got it? Okay. I know it's a little weird. Okay. Seeing, there being no further discussion on the rules, those in favor of adoption. No, yeah, those in favor of adopting the rules say aye. Those opposed say no. Any abstentions? All right, ayes prevail, the proposed rules are adopted. Thank you for the debate and the questions on that. I see the question on the floor, I'm gonna recognize Mariana James. Good to hear Mariana James.
Kyle, can you clarify, if somebody made a mistake, whether there'll be an opportunity for them to like cure that ballot if they signed already?
Yes, absolutely. So to clarify that portion of the rules, if you made a mistake, if the tellers cannot determine what your intended vote was, right? It was a scribble, it was, a weird line, something, we'll go back to you and ask you to clarify what your vote was. If you're not here, obviously, you can't count that vote, right? And again, that's why we made you sign, so we know when we told you to sign on the left, it's signed on the left, then it appears that they were here, right? But if the person's left and we can't count it, then it will have to count it. However, if we can't understand your ballot, we call you back, call you up here to check it, if you're able to fix it and correct it, then we're all good. Okay? All right. The next order of business before we get started is the appointment of what's called a committee to fill vacancies. Yes, we will move that after the candidates. Okay, so we are on to the nomination of candidates for the Democratic Party for the public office of member of the Assembly from the 74th Assembly District of New York County in the special election to be held in February 2026. For each candidate upon being duly nominated and seconded will be allotted 3 minutes to address the committee. I am going to call on candidates in alphabetical order, just so everybody knows that places the candidates of which I'm aware of, and you're going to be before this. That places the order: Sarah Machu, Marquise Jenkins, Kevin O'Keefe, and Pete Powers. So the chair will first recognize Tom Reuter to nominate Sarah Machu. And I will bring them back to the
Thank you. My name is Tom Neuter, and I'm one of the district leaders from this assembly district as well as a member of the county committee. I proudly nominate Sarah Bachu to be our candidate, our Democratic Party candidate for the special election to fill the vacancy in the assembly. The first reason is that I think she is going to be part of the new youthful leadership that will be a great partnership with our new mayor, Zoran, and it will be a partner in the sense that she will be able to help in Albany do the things that may be necessary for Zoran to get his policy priorities passed when legislation or budgeted things from Albany are required for that. Second, she has a fierce and personal interest in maintaining the safety and welfare of our immigrant community, which is now living under the pole of fear based on the Trump administration. And I think that is one of our highest moral values for this party and this district, and that she will be a wonderful representative to help do that. The third is that her history is one of being a tenant advocate and of being a community organizer and community advocate, and that takes her a little bit out of the ordinary politics. So I propose that we need someone as a community organizer and community advocate to be our next assembly member. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. The chair recognizes Jerry Weinstein to second the nomination.
Howdy folks, I'm Jerry Weinstein, and it's my honor to second this nomination for Sarah Bachu. I've scrapped what I was originally going to say. I want to jump off what Tom just said. Yes, sorry. As Bell Hooks once said, the personal is political. Apart from everything else that's going on, I have a friend in an ICE detention facility, Delaney Hall, New York, 2 weeks as of yesterday. Despite campaigning and everything else, Sarah has been extremely supportive of our own situations, local community, in helping advise me as I work with Make the Road and his lawyers and gathering both media and electeds. So for me, it's very meaningful that somebody is not just making promises, but working with me in real time. So for this reason, I'm happy to stand for Sarah, knowing that I admire and respect the other candidates. They've all been very helpful as public servants. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we have heard the first nomination for Sarah Bachu. Candidate number one, Sarah Bachu, please address the committee to accept or decline the nomination.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much to our chair and our county leadership and to all of you for engaging in this process. I'm proud to accept your nomination. And I just wanted to start off by saying, I know you've heard a lot from us, so we'll try to keep it brief today. I get my personal doggedness from someone who's very special to me, my father. As with many immigrants, when they first come to this country, he had to work a lot of minimum wage jobs. He was cleaning the bathroom at McDonald's, he was working in a liquor store until he finally got a job as an X-ray technician that led him into the field of medicine. And he taught me through his work about perseverance, he taught me about resilience and the power of community. But the most important thing that he taught me is about problem solving. He was a pediatrician for over 40 years, and as you can imagine, he saw a lot of broken arms from his patients. And he taught me that any good doctor is going to check that arm is broken, put on a cast, and send the patient home. But a great doctor asks one question: why? Why is this arm broken in the first place? Is it because some sort of calcium deficiency? Did the patient fall off a bike? Or maybe someone or something at home is causing this arm to break? And my dad taught me, if you don't ask that question, you're going to continue to see that same kid with a broken arm Right now in New York State, we have a lot of broken bones, from rising housing costs to unsafe streets to our shuttered hospitals, and our leaders aren't even putting on casts. Oftentimes, they are putting on Band-Aids. I am running for assembly because I want to be part of the next generation of leaders who is ready to get to the root cause of these issues, not because we read about them in a textbook or in an article, but because we are living them. I am so proud to be running to represent this community because for me and for many families like mine, the moment right now that we're experiencing is deeply personal. I grew up with stories about government authoritarianism as somebody who is the child of immigrants, but I never thought that I could be living. With my husband, Christian, we have struggled every night. He is an immigrant from Venezuela, and every night we ask ourselves whether it's our last together. And that's the reality that millions of New Yorkers are facing right now. We deserve leaders who understand that because they are experiencing it alongside us. I am running for this district because I will always fight for you. When COVID happened, I worked with so many of you to start a community center over on Avenue D that now serves thousands of our neighbors. When Mount Sinai and Governor Hochul's administration wanted to close Beckensville, we rallied together and we sued the administration and Mount Sinai. But you know what, guys? I know that there is so much more that I can do to serve you. And so I want to thank you for engaging in this process. I want to thank you for sharing my desire to get to the root cause of these issues. And I hope that we can count on your vote tonight. Thank you so much.
You accept or decline the nomination? Thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah. The chair for the nomination of Marquise Jenkins now recognizes Damaris Reyes.
Good evening, my name is Damaris Reyes, and I am a committee member of 37PD. And it is my proud honor to nominate Marquise Jenkins for the Democratic Assembly of 74th Assembly District. In some ways, let me tell you why this is such a big moment. Marquise has been preparing for this his whole life. When I first met him, he was 20 years old, and he was the president of his tenant association. He also worked in a community center doing arts and community work with young people. From there, he went on to be an organizer in this neighborhood, helped to save hundreds and thousands of units of affordable housing, not only on the lower side, but across this city. He's also spent a part of his career working on criminal justice issues and worked at the Freedom of Common Justice as the director of organizing to help pass the Victims for Fair Compensation Act. This is what Marquise has done with little to no resources. He has pushed my thinking and the thinking of many of the people who have worked around with him so that we can think outside of the box. If he did this with no resources, imagine what he can do if he becomes our assistant.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Anthony Feliciano for consent.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Feliciano, I'm the state committee person of Assembly 4. I want to tell you, I second the nomination for Marquise for the 74th Assembly District. Like Damaris, I know Marquise for over 15 years. Understand the responsibility of an assembly person is not only legislation, but it's also the budget. And in this moment, in this nation, when those at the margins are under attack and threatened, we need an organizer who's done it from the ground up. But we also need someone who understands different folks from different marginalizations, right? From the LGBT all the way to those living in public housing. And so Marquise is that person who understands the policies, understands how to mobilize, and how to engage a community on those issues. And that is why I second this nomination.
Thank you. So, Marquise, please address the committee to either accept or decline the nomination. You have 3 minutes.
I'll accept. I'll pump it recognize at some point for keeping it short with you guys. But I'll start by thanking all of you. I know that you've been harassed and probably heard your fair share from each and every one of us. And still, you showed up today because you understand the importance of this role. What we are looking forward to is a hostile federal government, a new progressive mayor, and a governor who sits in between. As the Maris and as Anthony said, we need someone in the assembly who's not just good at the job, but who's impacted by all of the issues that we are going to be facing in the near future. As a young Black man who grew up in public housing, I am impacted by all of these issues that I am aiming to fight and address when we go to Albany. Whether it's housing, there's someone in here, not more, who's one paycheck away from being homeless. I know what that feels like. When we talk about healthcare, there are people in this room who are dealing with chronic illnesses. I have been surviving HIV for 14 years. And when I think about safety and wanting to live in a safe community, I recognize that when I was 7 years old, my family moved to this district to find safety, and I found a community who embraced me. I will not be doing this by myself. I will be doing this for each and every one of you. And so I want to say that thank you so much for the opportunity to come and be your next family member.
All right, I was trying to make things better here. Okay. Thank you very much, Marquise. Let me get myself back on script here. For the third candidate, the chair now recognizes, for the nomination of Mr. Kevin O'Keefe, the chair now recognizes Claude Whitfield.
I don't know, following some of these people is a pass. I had given up speaking, but Kevin asked me to nominate him, so I'm here to speak. I'm Claude Whitfield, I'm a member of the county, 74th AG, 22 years, a member of Community Board 6, 19 years as the Vice Chair of Community Board 6, 12 years as the Chair of the Housing, Homeless, and Human Services Committee. In 2015, I had the task and the responsibility and the privilege of providing orientation and mentoring to a cohort of the new members to Community Board 6. One of those members, one outstanding member in that cohort was a Kevin O'Keefe. During that, let me put it this way, when I think back to that time, and when I think going forward, there are two words that stand out to me that characteristics his personality. One is diligence, and the other is tenacity. Strength, staying on task, persistence. These characteristics have been borne out by.
Mr. Whitfield, you've hit your minute. On the clock there. Thank you. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, let me just do this part. Most significant and most exemplary of Kevin's effort in this community was his founding of St. Bart's Park Conservancy, an institution that has redounded to this entire community. Our children, our parents, our Boy Scouts, the churches, and the medical institutions surrounding that park. The planting of trees, the growing of flowers, basketball hoops, and don't forget the rendering of historical perspectives of our community in their newsletters. It is an item that has brought this community together. It is my privilege to nominate Kevin O'Keefe.
I appreciate you, sir. And to second the nomination, the chair recognizes Karen Moore for 60 seconds.
Hello, my name is Karen Moore, and I'm here tonight to second the nomination of Kevin O'Keefe. I'm a former long-term member of CD6, former co-chair of the MSBI Community Advisory Board, don't get me started, with Claude, and the current chair of the Bellevue camp. I love Bellevue because, number one, it's so radical, healthcare for all, and number two, they took very good care of my husband when he was take my care. I know Kevin because he's also a member of the Bellevue camp, and because my kid, like everyone else in the neighborhood, played at St. Martin's Park. Walking through St. Martin Park today is much nicer than it was when my daughter was in elementary school. And this I attribute to Kevin's advocacy. My impression of Kevin, one of the main impressions of Kevin is honesty and integrity. And for this reason, I'm happy to second his nomination from the assembly.
Thank you very much. Candidate number 3, Kevin O'Keefe, please address the committee to accept or decline the nomination. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Ken. And thank you, Claude, Karen, and Paula. I love both of those individuals. My name is Kevin O'Keefe, and yes, I accept the nomination. I have a clear vision for this district that my wife, who's here, our 3 teenagers, and I have called home for many, many years. And I did create 2 nonprofits. I do run 3 right now, if you include a basketball program called Swish You Were Here. We go around the city and put up nets where there's damaged and missing nets. A lot of people ask me, why am I distinct from other candidates? Well, I'm the only parent in the race, I'm the only community board member in the race, but there's a lot more. Independence. I don't owe anything to any business. I don't owe anything to any government entity. I'm free of compromise. I'm free of conflict. I'm coming in with a clean slate. I think that means a lot. We had a recent candidate forum where I was the only candidate that took a pledge not to take any corporate special interest money, no housing PAC or any real estate lobbyist money. And I think that's important. I saw today one of the super PACs for housing supported 2 of the candidates that are here tonight. I'm proud that I was on this list. By the way, Marquise was not on that list. Another person I know. There's something to be said for housing for sure, but it's not just build, build, build. That's what the guise is, what the real estate lobby wants you to think, build, build, build. I mean, we have on 25th and 1st Avenue, I think you know, the CUNY dorm rooms, over 600 student spaces are being torn down with no housing going up in this place. This is government property, city property. How can we say we're for housing? Well, the real estate lobby's happy because they're going to build a new building and go up without any housing. There's no new dorm rooms going up in our assembly district in their place. I think that's a travesty. I could talk about a lot of other issues, but I think you get my passion. Healthcare was mentioned. I'm for the New York Health Act. There needs to be healthcare for Medicare for all in this state. It's about time that we get that through. There's a lot of things that we need to do, but again, we're going to not have any corruption. What happened with St. Martin Park was we had a garden that was locked for decades. And I investigated and found out there was corruption. The city was renting out that garden for private events, like Tom Brady's son had a birthday party. And that's not right. It went on for decades. So I basically embarrassed the city, and we opened it up, started a conservancy, and now thousands of kids and families and others enjoy that green space. I'm going to go to Albany. I'm going to fight like hell for the middle class and others that just are ignored too much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. O'Keefe. And for the nomination of Mr. Keith Powers, the chair recognizes Harvey Epstein. Some random guy.
Thank you, Kyle and Barry, for organizing this. I want to thank everyone for being here. It is a sweet moment because I got nominated here in the same space just a few years ago to be your summer member for the last 8 years. I want to thank everyone for taking the time and the energy to be here. It is a really important decision we're all making tonight. I came up here because I've known Keith Powers for a very long time. We fought for our housing issues. When we passed the HSTPA, Keith and I were on the phone making sure we protected rent-stabilized tenants all over our city and state. When we talked about corrections issues, we talked about closing Rikers Island. Keith was on the forefront as the chair of correction, making sure we closed Rikers Island to deal with that crisis that we have in New York City. Talk about things like the busway on 14th Street. Keith was on the forefront with me when we created the first busway to make sure the buses move faster and create a system that's better for New York and make sure we have better public transportation. Things like those show how deep Keith is. It's a fighter for our neighborhood, a fighter for affordability, a fighter for our future. I'm really proud to stand with Keith, and I'm proud to nominate him for the next Assembly member here in the 74th Assembly District.
Thank you, Harvey. To second the nomination, the chair recognizes Charles Durkin. And with that, Charles.
Thank you all. I stand before you, a long-term resident. My name is Charles Durkin. I am very proud to second the nomination of Keith Powers. I've been a resident in this neighborhood since 1977. And I've seen what's happened with Stuyvesant Town and Waterside. And for me, somebody fighting for housing, just like Harvey did in the assembly, is one of the most important things. And Keith has saved a lot of affordable housing in this neighborhood, and I know he will do that in Albany. So I am proud to second the nomination of Keith Powers for assembly.
Thank you very much. All right, candidate number 4, Keith Powers, please address the committee to accept or decline the nomination. You have 3 minutes.
Let me get something out of the way. I accept the nomination. And before I start, I just want to say thank you to Harvey Epstein for his service. Let's give a big round of applause to Harvey. And for 1 or 2 weeks now, we're in the city council. We get to sit next to each other in the chamber, which is an honor. My name is Keith Powers. I'm a lifelong resident in this neighborhood, and I have been a city councilor for the last 8 years. And it has been a privilege to serve the community I've born and raised in. I've lived in my entire life. And together with Harvey and so many other elected officials, we have tackled the affordability crisis in this neighborhood and helped lower the rents of tenants. We have stood up for sustainable transportation options. We've been innovative with the 14th Street busway, and let's make a lot more busways in the city too to speed the buses up. We have tackled the housing crisis, making sure we build housing in every single community and neighborhood so that every person has a good place to live. We've worked with our tenant leaders and our community leaders to make sure they get the resources they deserve. During COVID, we were out there in our community delivering food and PPE to every single community in this neighborhood. We have been innovative in legislation to make sure that we can use the legislative powers of the council to tackle the everyday needs of the community, but also to address the long-term needs of this city, tackle poverty, and to raise the standard of living here. I'm so honored to carry the support of our amazing Assembly member / Council member Harvey Epstein, our Attorney General Tish James, our soon-to-be Controller Mark Levine, our Congress member Jeremy Nadler, and so many other people who I've been in the trenches with for the last 8 years, making sure that we can do well by our city and our community. The most important, you can cheer for that. The most important endorsement is yours, and I'm so grateful the last couple of weeks that we have all had an opportunity to talk to each other about the needs of our community and how together we can continue to build here. I would be honored to take the long experience I have as a tenant, association advocate member, a community board member, a staffer in the assembly, and now a city council member to Albany to fight for a great neighborhood that make this district what it is. And I just want to thank everybody for taking time to know the last few weeks. You guys are amazing and tremendous. You are carrying a big responsibility today on behalf of all your neighbors. And it's been an honor to get to work with you, talk with you, and take your best ideas and experiences to Albany. This is the time to tackle affordability crisis, to fight back against the Trump agenda, and to make sure that every single community in this district, every single person has a representation that you deserve. I would be honored to be your assembly member and take that experience and that fight to Albany every single day. So for all of you that I've known since I was a child, to those I've gotten to know in the last few days, thank you for serving on this kind of committee. Thank you for what you are doing today, and I'd be honored to be your assembly member. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pete. So are there any other nominations? Hearing none, the chair now declares nominations closed and calls for a vote on the nomination of the Democratic candidate in the special election to be held on or around February 3rd, 2026 for the public office of Assembly from the 74th District, State of New York. I'll get this thing back on here. All right, the formal speeches have ended. It is now time to vote pursuant to the rules earlier adopted. As a reminder, do not yet mark your paper ballots until given clear verbal instructions. All right, let me confer with my colleague here. Okay, I'm going to give instructions on the ballot. It is now time for each member to mark the first ballot, which is watermarked with the number 1. So remember, you have 3 ballots that are watermarked. We're using this round 1, so we're using a ballot that's watermarked with 1. This is my Van White right here. Again, the first ballot is watermarked with the number 1. Mark the oval next to the name of only one candidate, then sign your own name for this ballot. I want you to sign on the bottom left. So mark the oval next to the name of the candidate of your choice, and then sign your name on the bottom left. Yes, can I have Paul, District Leader Paul Devlin, District Leader Mariana James help with collecting ballots? Thank you very much. We have pens going around the room. If folks need pens, District Leaders Mariana James and Paul Devlin are collecting ballots. Mariana is green in the front here, Paul is blue in the front. Appreciate everybody's patience. If anybody needs assistance, if you need anyone needs assistance with reading or hearing or anything else, please flag for us. We're happy to be helpful. A reminder that Mariana James in the green and Paul Devlin in the blue are collecting ballots. They're in the back of the room right now, making their way back up to the front. And so a ballot, please hold it in the air for them to collect.
All right, in the interest of counting expeditiously, please hold your ballot in the air if it is ready to be collected. I see one ballot in the air. Wow, we're doing well. Okay. Ben Wexler, please hand your ballot either up here to the front or to Paul. Everyone else has submitted their ballot? Yes? Okay, great. Can we please have one representative from each of the candidates join us on the stage? Bring a phone or a calculator or a pen and paper if you're still really sharp with math. All right. If I can have the tellers, Paul Devlin and Mariana James, please come here to the front.
We're right here.
So I mean, come here to the table. Okay, so the way we are going to do this is we will begin by sorting the ballots into piles based on the candidate for whom they were cast. Candidates, you can please monitor and make sure that things are in the correct pile. After that, we will tally. I will log it in an Excel sheet, and the candidates will tally, or the reps will tally the weights. Can I please have Nivya Nydia Goatee to the front. Nydia Goatee. I will come to you, Ms. Goatee. Yeah, I will come to you. Here, hold this one.
Can I see David Gaines? Is there David Gaines? You can come to the front and raise your hand. David Gaines. Have your attention, I need Ann Salford. Also, Henrik Johnson. Henrik Johnson, if you're here. Ann Salford.
Okay, the tellers have finished their counting, the candidates have observed, there have been no discrepancies or questions. Kevin O'Keefe with 9.26% of the weighted vote, 2,004.25 weighted votes. Sarah Bocci with 14% of the weighted vote, with 3,028.83 weighted votes. Marquise Jenkins with 15.67% of the weighted vote at 3,391.25 weighted votes. and Keith Powers with 61.07% of the weighted vote, with 13,212.92 weighted votes. For the number of raw ballots cast, there were 168 ballots cast. Of those, Kevin O'Keefe received 15, Sarah Bacci received 25, Marquise Jenkins received 29, and Keith Powers received 99. I turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you, Barry, and thank you to our tellers, to our candidate representatives, and most importantly, to our candidates. Please do not leave yet. We are almost done, but not quite there yet. The tellers have tallied the votes and determined, as Barry said, can I have silence in the room, please? Can I have your attention? Attention in the room, please. Thank you. The tellers have tallied the votes and determined that Keith Powers has received the majority of the votes necessary to secure the Democratic nomination of this committee for member of Assembly for the 74th District of the special election to be held in February 2026. Keith, we will provide you 3 minutes to address the crowd. However, before we do that, we did have we tabled a motion earlier to fill the committee on vacancies. So the chair will recognize Michael Corbett to nominate persons to fill the committee's vacancies.
I nominate Keith L.T. Wright, Kyle Ishmael, Michael Corbett, Pedro Carrillo, and Reshma Patel to be the committee on vacancies.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
I need a name, sorry, I saw a bunch of people. I'll take Sandra, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Are there any other motions for committee to fill vacancies? Hearing none, all those in favor to fill the committee to fill vacancies with Keith L.T. Wright, Kyle Ishmael, Michael Corbett, Reshma Patel, and Pedro Carrillo, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstentions? All right, thank you very much. And with that, we will have the next Assembly member, the Democratic nominee for Assembly.
Thank you. I know it's late, so I will be short. First of all, before I start anything, I know I said this earlier, but I wanted to say a very big thank you and congratulations to Harvey Epstein on his ascent to city council, his role in Bethel, and I want to thank him for his service. Harvey has shaped this district and this city in a very meaningful way over the service he has provided here at the Assembly and long before that. His work on tenants' rights and affordability and protecting the east side has set standard for all of us. And I am so deeply grateful for his friendship and his endorsement, and I am committed to carrying forward the work that he has done in Albany. I want to acknowledge the other candidates who was raised, to Kevin and to Marquise and to Sarah. I want to congratulate them on races well run. Let's give them a big round of applause as well, because I know how much work goes into this, and I know how tough these races are, so I appreciate you guys being part of this as well. I just want to shout out also a few friends here. I want to give a thank you to Alana Sidman, to Gabe Turzo, to Anna Heiss here. They are amazing and tremendous friends who I know have put their names forward here as well, care deeply about this community, and I'm getting text messages. And your confidence in me, and your work, and your support. I just want to say a very big thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause. We got a lot of fans here. We do too, I do too. Thank you to my friends and the leadership at Tilden, Democratic Club, and Roseville, and Coda for your support and strength. To Faith, Sandra, Alyssa, Charles, Mark, Joan, Pedro, Mike, Judith, Reginald, Lana, Donna, Michael, Andrea, Mark, Elizabeth, and so many more. I know I can't say all the names, but many more who lent their friendship and their support and their time over the last few weeks and throughout this. Thank you, and thank you so much. I want to give 3 shouts out to friends who actually pick people up and bring them here today so you can be part of this. To Brian Delaney and Mike Devereaux and Pedro Carrillo, thank you guys. for helping out to make sure people's happy. Let's give them a roll. And thank you to all the elected officials that supported me. I don't want to name them all because it's late, but thank you to all of them who lent their support as well. And thank you to the team that helped make this happen, to Danielle, and Ben, and Eric, and Lisa, and Jet, and Paul. Thank you guys, and you guys are amazing. Thank you. And to Layla, I'm sorry for all the hours on the phone. To my parents, my family who are here, I'm sorry for the craziness I've all put you through. But I wanted to say on this, thank you to all of you. You guys have honestly been an honor over the last few weeks and months to be able to talk more to people that I've known for a very long time and to get so many more of you. We have big fights here ahead of us, whether it's around affordability, fighting back and beating back against the incursions of Donald Trump, or making sure that every piece of our neighborhood is livable and we can live with dignity. We have a lot of work to do. I am ready for it, and I'm ready to be your next assembly member. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, and now the chair recognizes Michael Corbett for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, sir. Can I have a second? Those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? All right, that is our meeting. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your democratic solidarity. Keith Powers, please join us in the front of the room to sign some documents. These are very important documents. Do not leave without signing these documents, Keith.
Well done. It's next to him. I love your,
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Keith Howard.